There's just miles and miles of this type of creek systems all over the Motherlode, and every one of them has gold in it. So for people to say, oh, all the gold's been hunted out, not even. I mean, look at that. Every time when we get some torrential rains, the erosion brings more gold down into this system right here. So yeah. Hey folks, okay, we found some bedrock right here. As you see right there, some bedrock exposed right up top of there in this creek over here. And basically right here too, you notice that right there, there's some bedrock here, shallow bedrock there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna metal detect this area. We're gonna metal detect about 10, 20, 30, 40 feet. And we're gonna dig every target and we're gonna see what we're gonna get. All right, I'll see you on the first target. And here we go. Okay, we got our target right here. Let's dig it up, see what it is. Okay, I got it out of the ground. I do not have my scoop today. But I do have my magnet. So let's utilize that. Not picking anything up. That's a good sign. Otherwise, could be lead. Let's take a look. It's in my hand. It's lead. There it is right there. Nice piece of lead. All right, well, at least we got that piece of junk out. All right, let's move on. Okay, we're over here just down the creek on this little slate bed. And not sure if this is a target or a hot rock. But I'm gonna open that up, see if there's a target in there. A lot of times the gold could go at the top, sink down the slate, and go down, wedge itself down below. Let's open it up a little bit, see what we get. Okay, I broke that apart, and that tone went away. But right below here, as it dips down onto the bedrock, we got a target. Let's dig that up. A little loud, but you know, you never know. Just like that piece of lead that we found right upstream from here. I thought it was junk, but it was just a piece of lead. That could as well just been gold. So this one right here, same thing. Let's clear that rock out and see what we got. Seems like, oh, here it is. I found it. Rusty little wire. All right, let's check that. That's all it is. Oh well. So at this point, I'm just working up the creek, detecting the bedrock, the shallow bedrock, and I'm listening to a slight change in my threshold. And I'm digging targets, whether they're trash, lead, or gold. And this is what you got to do. It's a slow, meticulous process, but this is nugget hunting seasonal creeks. All right, let's see what this puppy is. Look at it. You see the piece of rust. All right, well, that's okay. We got that one out. And we found gold here before. And we'll have to find it again. Let's keep going. Okay, right to the right of the last piece of wire. Could be another piece of that wire, or it could be a piece of gold. So let's dig it. All right, let me get down there. Piece of bedrock pulling out here. Well, you never know. Never know, folks, until you dig it. The gold's still out there. Don't let anybody tell you all the gold's been worked out. Because it hasn't. We need the newbies continue on with this tradition. And you got to believe it's here, because it is. I mean, I came late to this. The 70s and 80s were the times to really detect for gold. I got in on it in the 90s. Everybody was saying I was all worked out. And I could tell you, it's not. All right, let's dig this puppy out. There it is, folks. Look at that big piece of lead. That's like a 44. That's lead, highly dense. It was way down in this pocket right there, way down underneath the bedrock. And if this could get down there, if this was never found, who knows what's down there? If you could find lead, gold's right there behind it. So look at that. Look how white that is. When you see lead this white, and especially the really tan, it's been down there a long time. This is a ball shot. So it was made in a bullet mold. Anyway, fabricated by the human. Anyway, let's continue on. So here we go. That's 2 targets in the same spot. I hear another one. When you hear that, you got to dig it. All right, let's go back down there and start digging. See, I have my coil vertical. All right, see what that puppy is. Oh, here it is. Another piece of lead. It was right down there. But lead is good. Let's keep going. Okay, we have one down deep in that little crevice. Let's dig that up, see what we got. All right. See how the slate just falls apart? Okay, let's see if it's down in here somewhere. Still down in there. Okay, looks like I ripped it out of that hole. And I put the material over here somewhere. All right, let's see what that puppy is. It's over here somewhere. Okay. Let me get my magnet out. Well, it's non-magnetic. Just to show you how mineralized this ground is. See all this little rock right here? It's a magnetite. It's not too bad over here, but there's something down there. Let me see if I could pinch that. Well, I found it, folks. Looks like another piece of lead right there. A little ball. Yeah. Lead. Okay, another signal. All right, dig her up. Nice looking crack, ain't it? You just don't know what's down there unless you dig it. I know I keep repeating myself, but that's just the truth. There's no, this isn't rocket science. Find gold country, find an area where gold was dug before, get a metal detector, get permission and access, or if it's BLM land or a club, doesn't matter, and dig targets. And eventually you're gonna find a piece of gold. That's it, that's the secret, folks. There ain't no other way. There's no long distance handheld detector that's gonna tell you where the pot of gold is. Just do what the pros do. They use pulse induction, they use VLF like the gold monsters and gold bugs, and get inside areas like this where the bedrock's exposed and start digging. All right, let me see if it's in there still. Well, here's the handful, and I think this is in here, this little round piece right here. Look how tiny that is. Piece of lead. That's it. Look at that. Follow the lead, folks. Woo. All right, let's keep moving. All right, came over here and noticed this bedrock, and then I went below here in the lower area and dug some of this material out. Pushed it over this way, and anyway, I'm gonna have to dig this more out, but I am getting a signal here. There's one there, and there's one over here. Let's dig this one out first. Sounds like trash, but hey, we gotta dig it. Okay, it's right over, it's right there in that corner right there where my toe of the coil is. The toe of the coil is here. The heel is right here. So if you want to pinpoint a target, just go behind it, right there. And then you go, basically, it's going to be right around this point right here. Well, here it is. Looks like a piece of lead. Nice and white, very old. Okay, well, we move on. There's another target in here somewhere. Right there. Let's dig that puppy out. Okay, it's over there. All right, let's move on over there. Okay, it's a little further up. You know, it all looks good, doesn't it? But anything that comes down this creek, you know, gets stuck. So we got to dig every target. And gold being the most rarest, it's the least, you know, it's not the most likely thing to find here. Over lead. Oops, sorry about all that noise. My knife got in the way. But let's see if we could find it. Still in there. I have to pull this piece out right there. Remember, don't throw it too far. Looks great, doesn't it? But that nasty lead could get down in there too. And, you know, we just cross our fingers that one of these days we hit gold. All right. Okay, I got it in my hand. Oh, you see it right there? It's a pellet. Literally a pellet. Looks like an air gun pellet. Oh my goodness. I mean, I could be wrong, but it's definitely lead. All right. Well, as you see, it was down way deep in bedrock. Let's continue. This does not discourage me. It motivates me, because if I could dig something so heavy as pieces of lead, and I know I'm in a stream of gold because there's a mine way a couple miles up, and I've found gold in this creek before, and so there's gold here. So if I'm still digging lead, it just means that if anybody was here before, they didn't get it all. So if you're digging lead, you're doing okay. Let's continue on. Okay, got another one over here. Okay, I dug it out. It's right in this crack here. I mean, beautiful. Look at the slate. It's going perpendicular across from the creek. It's a perfect spot. Look at that. Sounds great. We haven't found much iron here. It's been so far just lead, non-ferrous, and got another target here. So, you see all those holes up there I've dug, and there's a lot more targets in here. And let me dig this one out. All right, we moved it. It's over here somewhere. All right, it's in my hand. Well, piece of lead. Let's see what that is. Yeah, piece of lead. Okay, well, what you gonna do? So far, it's a reality hunt, folks, but fun nonetheless. You got to dig targets, find that gold. That's why, when I get one little piece, whether it's 1/10 of a gram or whatever, I get excited, because it's very, very difficult to find gold with a detector. You could get a pan and you could dig down in these little crevices, pan it out, and you're going to find a little speck of gold. You're going to find little fine dust gold. Guaranteed. I could do it every day. But when you find gold with a metal detector, it's going to be a lot heavier, okay? It could be 1/10 of a gram, quarter ounce. A lot of times it's 1/4 gram and above. It takes a lot of fine gold in order to condense that into a piece that size. So yeah, it's the most difficult way to find gold, metal detecting. It's more of a mind game, and you have to persevere. It's not for everybody. It really isn't. You could be digging thousands of targets, and if you don't have the patience to dig and stuff like that, I'd suggest get a pan, a sluice box, dry washer, any other means where you're shoveling material. And at the end of the day, you bring your concentrates home, and then you can play around at home and pull all your little fine gold. But this is interesting how it's got a little point on that. See how it's sharp right here? Anyway, I'll take a look at that a little closer. Okay, cool. Let's continue. Okay. Went a little bit downstream from where we were just digging the last target, and let's dig that out. Sounds like there's a threshold movement here. Okay, this target here it's right here in this wall, right there. So I'm gonna dig that up with my knife and see if we move it. Sometimes I get overzealous and I dig a little too much. Okay, it's in there somewhere. Okay, I moved it. Let's get the magnet out. Still there. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Okay, what is it? Lead or gold? All right, I got it in my hand. Sometimes you could spot lead, but sometimes you can't. What is that? Nope. Nope. Okay. Flat piece of lead again, folks. Boy, I'm hitting lead nuggets today. Lead nuggets. Yep. Lead. Boy, oh boy. Okay, well, let's try a few more. So speaking of detecting, you see the small coil I have there. This is the reason you use small coils, because you get into the crevices a lot easier. You get as close as you can to the bedrock, and you can move it real slow and listen very carefully. With a big coil, you're not gonna be able to do that. I don't know if I hear something here, but there's a little bit of a threshold change. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go down there and clean this up and see if it gets a little louder. But yeah, small coils, whether you're using a very low frequency detector like the Gold Monster or Gold Bug or White's Gold Master, whatnot, you know, you want a small coil on there if you're hunting bedrock like this. You don't want the bedrock. You want the bedrock to be pretty much exposed, maybe a little bit of material on there, no more than no more than 6 inches of material. It's already getting way too deep. This is a really nice example where you have some exposed. You see how it's going across? It's ideal. And then where you're digging a little bit of material, but you don't want bedrock to be a foot or two away from the bedrock. You see how I go over to the bedrock? Well, a lot of the bedrock has cracks in it, and I've dug gold. It's literally 7 inches through a hairline crack on the top. You would never think. It would all look like rock, and all of a sudden you hear this sound, and your best bet is to start chiseling that sucker away until you hit, especially if it's getting louder and louder. There's a piece of gold down there. I've had that on a few occasions. And those old timers didn't have the technology. You know, they went to the bedrock. They didn't go beyond that most of the time. My coil, once I hit it, sometimes it goes off. It's touch sensitive. It's old. I am due for a new coil, that's for sure. I'd like to have the evolution coil, a small coil for bedrock. I'm going to bust this out right here. It just seems like there may be something down there. All right. I had a little bit of threshold movement, so The threshold changed a bit, so I don't know. So I took that, I broke that bedrock out, that slate. I don't know if it's being touch sensitive or... I'm gonna break it up some more. Nope, nothing. I cleared all that out, and there's no target down there. Folks, let's do a wrap up, and then first I need a drink. Anyway, this is 80% of the time. This is what nugget hunters experience in California, at least. You got to go out there and you got to dig. Those guys who spend most of the time, spend more time hunting with a detector. It's like in anything, like real estate. You know what they say who do most of the sales? 3% of the real estate agents, because they treat it like a job and they're out there hustling. You know, when they close one, it's always about the next sale. Same thing with nugget hunting, or same thing with a lot of other things. The most successful people are the ones who are doing it often. If you're not, you know, if you're doing it on weekends, it's just going to take you a little longer. So anyhow, let's see what we found today. All right, what do we get? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of lead. And you can see the different size of lead shot. There is very, very tiny pieces. They were down deep in bedrock. Big old rusty iron, a couple of these pieces of wire, little square nails, and then this is a little chunk of iron. That's it. That's about 3 hours of hunting. And we didn't do too bad. I mean, we didn't get any gold, but any one of these could have been gold, right? All right, folks. It's a reality hunt today. What could I say? You know, this is how it is. This is the truth. And I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir out there, all you guys who do this. You heard this before. You know it yourself. I'm kind of just speaking out loud. Hopefully I could help out some people who are starting out in this hobby. Don't give up. Get yourself a detector and go out there and look for relics, look for gold. If you're in an area where there's gold, sizable gold, pieces like this, you know, this was a piece of gold. Do your research. Join a club. Ask questions. You know, hook up with somebody, network with a guy who's been doing it for many years. You're going to cut that learning curve from 10 years of life experience in nugget hunting to a year or two, and you'll be on the gold, trust me. All right, folks, thanks for joining me on this reality hunt. Hope to see you in the next one. I'm thinking I'm going to go back to Nugget Gully, and we're going to move forward into that pile of dirt, and hopefully we'll get something over there. But regardless, we're going to try, and see you there. Hope to see you, folks. Have a great evening, and good morning to you just waking up wherever you are in this world. Have a great day.